Welcome to the Soul Archaeology podcast, a space for connection, resonance, witnessing, and learning. Together we'll harvest medicine from the spiral of life, sharing conversations with other embodied humans who have navigated their own initiations and found alignment with their true soul essence. With weekly astrology, energy updates, embodied conversation, and channeled teachings, this is a space for you to land and find resonance with the spiral of your own soul. Welcome back to Soul Archaeology. I'm so happy to be here with you. As always, it's such a gift to have this community, to have this space to show up each week. For me, it's provided so much containment and structure and discipline and devotion to this space. As a very airy being, a lot of my chart is air. The earth is always where my lessons occur. And Capricorn in particular, this Capricorn season, it's just felt really nice to tend these more physical spaces. The podcast feels so good for me to show up each week, and other pieces and parts of work and life can sometimes feel really tedious for me, even just adulting and being a human on this planet and having to show up for money and taxes and paperwork and LLC things. It's just such a gift, honestly, to be someone who works for themselves, and it's a lot to hold. So I've been really grateful for this sort of Capricorn stellium, this vessel to really hold me during this time. I've gotten so much done over the last few weeks, even though it's the winter season. I have not felt like being external or necessarily creative or even social, but being at home and being in my cocoon and just tending these items really in preparation for this more electric, fast-paced time has felt so good. And the trajectory of this year is quite wild. Every time I tune into the energy, every time I even look at the roadmap, I created a workbook for 2026, and I reference that when I'm getting ready to do these episodes for the new year. And it's really quite remarkable. We've had really some pretty deep pockets of slowness the last few years where things were just moving at a snail's pace. We were in the thick, muddy places and spaces within ourselves that needed to be worked on and excavated, the collective pieces. And we'll always do that work. That will always be the case. That's just a part of the expansion and contraction process of being alive on this planet. But we're moving into a fast-paced few years. So that's beginning shortly. Over the next few weeks, the accelerated speed will be felt. If you're curious about 2026, I have a workshop. It's called the 2026 Forecast Workshop. It's available in the show notes. This is something that you can reference throughout the year. It's something you can rewatch. There's a really powerful quantum healing journey within that too that helps you just align with the energetics of this new year. You also receive the workbook I was talking about earlier, the PDF workbook, which breaks down the energetics of each month, journal prompts, ways you can work with the year, and just really align so that you're not working against it, but with the energetic climate. And we had that really powerful new moon in Capricorn over the weekend, which has really just felt honestly so nice. I talk all about that new moon in the last episode and how this Capricorn stellium has really provided this structure and containment and this space for us to find some reorientation, some organization, even if it's within the psyche, even if it's within the cocoon, within the womb, reorganizing our internal spaces and maybe some of our external spaces too, to prepare for this accelerated speed of evolution that we're moving into. So we're still held here within the womb of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. We are being held in this vessel of death and rebirth. We're at this threshold point between worlds. And I've talked a lot about this over the last few years. If you've been with me since 2023, since the beginning of this podcast, or even before in my work, I've been talking about this threshold, this liminal space between the old and the new, and what it's like to be within that in our nervous systems, in our bodies, in our psyche. And it really can feel, after a while, like a cocoon or a space of comfort or familiarity. And that can sometimes keep us from crossing the threshold. So really, to be in a space where we can meet this threshold, meet this new world, this new age, this new timeline, and ready to move into it, we need the right conditions. And that's why I've been talking so much over the last few years about returning back to devotion, back to practices, back to these earth medicine and bits of wisdom, because we are truly here to stay present as we ascend. This isn't about leaving the body, but it's about bringing it with us on this journey and upgrading our physicality, our cells, our DNA, our nervous systems to meet these edges of true growth and expansion, of evolution. And in order to do that, we have to titrate these spaces and meet the edges and really build confidence in our ability to be with discomfort, to be with fear, to be with growth in the unknown. And so when we get these pockets of support, earth support, which I find very helpful, especially during this period where we're shifting from earth and water into fire and air with the outer planets, the earth medicine is going to be even more important. And so I encourage you to just think about what very simple practices can you return to. We are going to evolve. We are going to grow. We are going to be where we need to be. We'll end up where we need to end up. The evolution's happening. So how can we return to the simple, basic practices and pieces and parts of devotion that feel really good and right and aligned for us during this time? Taking care of our physical vessel, really being discerning around what we're consuming, taking in physically with food, water, substances, as well as what we consume energetically, emotionally, what we consume as far as media and news and content. With the acceleration of time itself, although we know time is nonlinear, but we will the way we interpret it, the way we feel it on the physical plane is changing rapidly, and it's going to feel faster. And so we have to work with that physically. It's really noticing what we're consuming, noticing what we're choosing in each and every moment. Are we choosing to stay plugged into these devices and panels, or are we finding enough space to really just be with self, be with our loved ones, be with people in relationship, physically, in person? These are all so important. And I will say, after Capricorn season, we are going to move into Aquarius season, and it's going to speed up. For this week, on January 19th, Aquarius season begins. And that same day, Venus joins with Pluto. And as we know, anything that enters Aquarius over the next 20 years will eventually meet a checkpoint with Pluto. So Venus entering Aquarius last week, she's meeting with Pluto this week. And then on January 20th, Mercury enters Aquarius as well. Mercury joins the Aquarian party. On January 21st, Mercury meets with the Sun. We have a Mercury cazimi in Aquarius. And then on January 23rd, we have a Pluto cazimi. So the Sun meets with Pluto at 3 degrees. And Mars also shifts into Aquarius. So we're building towards this stellium with Venus, Mercury, the Sun, Mars, and Pluto. And this is quite intense. We're building towards this interaction between Mars and Pluto as well, which is always quite intense and even volatile at times. So we're being initiated into Aquarius season. And this Aquarius season in particular is quite incredible. We have next week Neptune entering Aries officially for 14 years. Shortly after that, on February 14th, we have Saturn entering Aries. We have eclipse season beginning on February 17th, and that same day, the Chinese zodiac shifts to the fire horse year. And then on February 20th, we have the great conjunction between Saturn and Neptune, which is going to really define this next era of our evolution. So all of that, besides the conjunction, even though it's starting earlier than its exact point on the 20th, is held within Aquarius season. So we're plugging into a new timeline this upcoming month. Like I said, the eclipse portal opened with the new moon in Capricorn on the 18th. So we're in eclipse season. We're feeling these fated experiences. Karma is tactile. We can feel it and sense it. This is a point where quantum leaps occur. And this is a time of future seeding, planting seeds in the quantum field for the future that we're creating. So we're moving out of Capricorn season, out of this work of consolidation and commitment, structural integrity, organization, containment, and into fixed air, Aquarius season. And in so many ways, this Aquarius season is the bridge between the old and the new world. We are literally stepping into a new timeline over the next month, and we're in this messy space in between over the next few weeks of death and being death doulas of the past and midwives of the future at the same time. And this is not the first Aquarius season we've had since Pluto shifted, but Pluto has finally gained some traction over the last year. It officially clicked into Aquarius in November of 2024, but it's gained some ground over the last year, and it's been working. And Pluto kind of works very deep. It works at levels that we can't always sense in real time, and in real time in space and in life. But it is making adjustments to the foundation of our society. Pluto was in Aquarius, began in 2008. It shifted in 2024. And it really began the slow, arduous process of disintegrating and dissolving the foundations of so many of the structures that were no longer serving this new timeline. And we've been in this space where we can sense and feel that so much is dissolving. We can see what isn't working, but we have no idea what this bridge looks like between the old and the new. So we're just sitting in this space kind of hoping and praying that a new world will emerge through the ashes, through the debris of what once was. And I believe that that is the support that Aquarius season is providing, not just this Aquarius season, but the archetype of Aquarius. It can hold the future timeline, the future vision. It can expand beyond the walls and tunnels of where we've been and create a new way of relating to our consciousness. And thinking about the archetype of Aquarius in its modern rulership, it's ruled by Uranus, which is the great disruptor and the planet of change and transformation and innovation. In its traditional rulership, it's ruled by Saturn. And in both ways, it is here to mature and evolve something. In many ways, Aquarius is oriented towards the future. It's not going back into the past. It's not going back into the emotional layers or the emotional baggage or the trauma or the density. It's truly innovating and creating the future timelines. Aquarius rules the 11th house. And unlike Leo, which rules the 5th house and forms identity through self-expression and the ego and a sense of self, Aquarius forms identity through function, contribution. It's always looking to its role in the larger organism, in the collective, in the group. It's decentered. It focuses not on hierarchy or the self. It focuses on loosening attachment to personal narratives and focuses on truth and authenticity rather than ego and reputation. And Aquarius operates through the upper registers of the nervous system. Heightened perception, pattern recognition, collective attunement, sensitivity to the field. It's very cerebral. And so this can oftentimes bring a sense of being unanchored, disoriented, destabilized, ungrounded. That's why we need this containment. We need these practices. We need these pieces and parts that really anchor us to the present moment, anchor us to life, anchor us to the body. And the evolutionary purpose or task of Aquarius is to be deeply devoted to truth and authenticity, to not sacrifice self or sacrifice truth for belonging. The deepest wound of Aquarius is exile, this feeling that it doesn't belong anywhere, that it's too out there or too forward thinking, or that it doesn't have a space. There can be early imprints of being misunderstood or being othered or feeling rejected, which is why Aquarius can feel sort of detached emotionally or protected or even walled off, because they oftentimes become observers rather than participants. So it's self-protection. And so the true task here is to find belonging without self-abandonment, to return to the collective without betraying the truth that once caused exile. So there's intelligence here. And this is what we really want to work with during this time, is noticing where is there perhaps a better way to do something? Where is there an alternative path? Are you seeing the full picture, or are you so deeply in the minutia and the emotional experience and the density of it? Collectively, we're seeing a rise, and I truly believe this is what will happen. I think we'll see a rise in the intelligence of systems. And of course, we're seeing a rise in AI, and I honestly have no idea what the trajectory or path of that is. I think it's terrifying and exciting at the same time. I think it's completely and absolutely unknown space and territory that we've never been before. It's uncharted. And so we're all sensing this in our systems. We're sensing that there's something coming. I listened to a podcast recently where it was describing this time as we're at the top of a roller coaster and we're buckled in and we can't get off the roller coaster, and we're about to head down and to enter this ride. And I think that's what this time is. But I do think while there's so much chaos and destabilization and dissolving and destroying of old systems and structures that don't work, which is the work that Pluto's been doing and is continuing to do in the first 2 degrees of Aquarius, is we're also going to see a new way emerge. And we have to remember that time is not linear and time doesn't work in the same way that it used to. And a new way can emerge in a split second. And new systems and new ways of operating can emerge without having to spend days and years and decades creating them. So this Aquarius season is here to expand the potential, to expand our consciousness to the potentials of what could be in this new world. And this week we may start to see glimpses into the future timeline. We may start to feel some more lightness, some more potential and possibility enter the field. It's already here, but we might be able to sense it more and more as the weeks start to unfold. But I cannot emphasize this enough. It is so important that we anchor into the body, that we stay present with what's happening in our physical bodies, that we witness our present reality right around us, that we know that we're safe, that we're okay, that we're whole, that we're held. And this is so important as we anchor the frequency for others who are maybe in war-torn countries, who are in a space where they cannot hold that frequency. Their nervous systems are quite literally in fight or flight for a reason, because they're in war and they're under threat. And so can we, as conscious warriors, hold the frequency for them? can we attune to the experiences internally and transmute the density, the fear, the anger, so that we can hold and anchor this higher timeline. This does not mean to bypass it. It means to become masters of our emotional landscape. And we need this for the coming years. We really do. This is Jedi level training in emotional alchemy. This is also why I created my cohort that's launching in a few weeks. And I'm so excited. There's over 100 people on the wait list. It's going to be such an incredible group. I'm limiting it to 20 women because I do believe that having a smaller intimate group is going to be best for this specific cohort. And this is what we'll be doing, is training to be Jedi level masters of emotional alchemy and learning how to really be with these big waves. In the next timeline, we'll be crossing the threshold of 2026 and 2027 together. It's a full year long cohort, which I designed specifically because I know that that's really what's needed right now. There's so many like quick hit 8-week courses, and I'm just like, sorry, but that's not going to cut the mustard during this time. So this is a year-long cohort. It's a year-long commitment. It's required to commit to the 12 months because it's that big. And the way we're going to be working with the physicality, the nervous system, the somatic experience with the quantum field, our consciousness, is pretty amazing. So I'm really excited for this. I've been in training for this cohort for many years, and I'm just so grateful to be here. So you can find the link to that in the show notes. And I want to start talking about this week because I could ramble on about Aquarius and forever. And that's honestly a lot of what we're going to be working on in the cohort together too. Each month we're talking about the archetypes of the zodiac, how to integrate the medicine of where we are energetically, the month that we're in. So I don't want to ramble on too much here, but I just want to say that we are on the bridge, and this is a very, very important and profound time. And I cannot emphasize enough how grateful I'm here to be doing it with you. So on the 19th, the sun enters Aquarius. Aquarius season begins. Venus meets with Pluto. So this is a potent entry point. Of course, we have the sun initiating this Aquarian season. Venus already shifted into Aquarius. Like I said, this is going to start to open up potentials and possibility. The light of the sun is consciousness. So we're going to start to see more. It's like a light turns on and all of a sudden we can see further. We can see beyond where we've been able to see before. And I've been getting glimpses of this over the last month. The energy usually enters a little bit earlier for me, I think because I'm meant to channel on it and work with clients on it. And so I started experiencing this, and I'm feeling that we're going to start to get glimpses into the future timeline as the weeks progress. So the sun enters Aquarius, but then right away Venus meets with Pluto. This is anytime a planet meets with Pluto, it's brought into its underworld space. So Venus drops into this deep space. We're going to be examining our attachment systems and patterns, our values, how we relate to our self-worth, how we relate to our power, the power dynamics in our relationship. This is a recalibration of desire, attachment, and power. Where are we still negotiating our worth? Not just in relationships, but in our relationship with self. Where are we still in survival patterns rather than truth and authenticity and clarity? This is all about honesty. And so this could be a big reckoning point. We might get a reckoning in our relationships. And like I said, our relationship with self, our relationship with our self-worth. Like I said, we have this major stellium happening in Aquarius over the next few weeks. So every aspect of life basically is going to be brought through this Aquarian checkpoint underworld. We're going to see the shadow of our Aquarian self revealed. And we all have Aquarius within us. We have, if not planets or placements there, we have an aspect of our life that is Aquarian. So look at your chart. Where do you have Aquarius? Mine is the 4th house. It's my IC. So it's my inner self, my sense of belonging and safety and childhood and roots. Where is it for you? That will reveal what's getting excavated and what's getting reviewed, what's under audit. On the 20th, Mercury enters Aquarius. So we have communication, vision, logistics, the mind. And this is really an opportunity for the mind to detach from old narratives. Mercury is going to meet with Pluto as well. That's going to be a big overhaul in what we thought we knew, what we thought we believed, really separating out from some old narratives. And I see so many people in the world, in my life, that are just clinging to these old narratives. It's like kind of profound, and it's on all sides of the aisle, whatever we want to talk about the polarity, it's everywhere. So just note, where are you clinging to something because it's what you thought you should believe or what you thought something was? It's probably going to be under investigation this month. This is also going to bring to light new ways of doing things, innovative thinking, potentially seeing new ways of moving through life, of choosing pathways that you didn't think were available will begin to emerge. And then on the 21st, we have the Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius. We have 2 Cazimis this week as well. We had 2 Cazimis. Was it last week? Oh my gosh, Mars and Venus both had a Cazimi. So the sun's doing some work. The sun, when a planet enters the heart of the sun, it's called a Cazimi. It means they're conjunct, and there's a reset, an illumination. The energy of the planet gets reset. So sudden insights could emerge, new ideas, new ways of thinking and being, new possibilities and potentials could emerge, a reframing of future direction. It's like our mind is getting reset to find space to reorient or realign with a future vision, with a new way of operating. And then on January 23rd, we have a Pluto Cazimi, and we have Mars entering Aquarius as well. So this is a big underworld week. We have all this interaction with Pluto. We have planets entering Aquarius, starting to near a conjunction with Pluto. Everything's getting heightened, and there's a sense of really unearthing what's beneath what we're choosing, what we value, what we desire. All aspects of life, all the personal planets are getting activated by Aquarius right now. So similarly, with Capricorn season, we have the same stellium in Aquarius happening too. So this is taking the work and elevating it. It's widening it. It's asking for us to look at, yes, what have you been doing? But where do you see this going? Where do you see yourself? What future visions are you calling in? And are you aligning your actions with it? Or are you just kind of holding it as this potential in the future? This is where we start to materialize and manifest the future timelines. This Aquarius season is asking us, what are we orienting towards? What are we looking towards? Where's our drishti or our focus? Is it on the past? Are we still tempted to go back and excavate and pull and Or are we ready to really start planting new seeds for the future? So this week is going to reveal where things feel outdated, what feels outdated. It could reveal new ideas, new ways of doing things. It can reveal what is outdated, what's ready to be released, what we've been clinging to. So it's going to be a big week, but we are still in this underworld energy. We're still at this threshold before Neptune enters Aquarius. We're at this death phase, this death portal. It is deep. And at the same time, we're seeing these new visions for what life will look like in the future too. So back and forth, push and pull. This is the nature of now. And the card that I pulled for the Soul Archaeology community today is the crystal card. And it's all about self-healing. It says crystal is an instrument of transcendence, an iconic talisman of the journey inward. Forged deep in the belly of earth, she emerges clear and brilliant, emanating form and balance through her highly ordered expressions of the infinite. Her sacred geometries hold the planetary codes and cosmic blueprints of universal existence. She responds to your intentions to conserve, direct, transmit, and transmute energy. She's a powerful healing ally. Crystal sends the message that self-healing is underway. You can amplify this progress by visualizing your wholeness and aligning with the curative frequencies freely given by Earth. Self-healing is a powerful choice when its visualization is married with intuitive listening and a commitment to self-kindness. improvement becomes inevitable. If you choose to work with a physical crystal, trust her purity and light to guide you home to yourself. When it's balanced, faith in earth energies and your ability to heal yourself. When it's imbalanced, you fear the body and fear the earth. To bring into balance, work with crystals, walk steadily on the earth. And I think this perfectly aligns with what we're saying, that we need to be able to hold the future vision while staying present with what's here right now. Showing up for the work, showing up for the tasks, being the keeper of light, as Capricorn season taught us. Chop wood, carry water. That's our work right now. And to notice what's emerging from that space. Thank you, as always, for being here. I'm so grateful. I have a Substack now, and if you would like to join, I would love to have you there. I share much more personal pieces and narratives. I just talked about my 2025 medicine and what I learned in 2025. I'm releasing an article next week on perfection years and how to work with it. So it's a fun space, and it's a great way to support the production of Soul Archaeology because I don't do sponsorship at all. So I fund this podcast on my own. And so if you'd like to support it, if you listen weekly and you feel like you would like to contribute in some way, you can join my Substack. It's $8 a month. You can also donate on my website. So I'm so grateful. Thank you for being here. You can also share if you can't afford to support right now. It's totally fine. Sharing on social media, sharing with friends and family means a lot as well. So thank you. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.